Today we will talk about fractions and mixed numbers. Let's go over what a fraction looks like. A fraction will look some like that. You'll have a number and then a bar and another number. Now, the top number is called a numerator. The bottom number is called a denominator. And the bar in the middle is called a fraction bar. And the way you read these fractions, you say the numerator first, which is 1. Then you read the denominator as the order form in English, like first, second, third, fourth, those kind of things. So you go 1/3. Now let's have another fraction. The top is again called a numerator. The bottom denominator. Now, the way you read it again, you say the top number 2, and then the bottom number in the order form, but since this is plural, you say 2/3. Now let's go and try to represent fractions using a picture. Now, if we assume we have a bar and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divisions, and I just color one of those divisions. And if somebody says, what is the fraction that corresponds to this picture? I go, okay, well, I divided my bar into 5 pieces and I took 1 out of it. So this is 1/5. And 1/5 represents the shaded portion of that bar. Now let's go to another one. Let's say I shade this time 2 of them. Again, oops. I divided my bar into 5 pieces and I took 2 of them. And you read 2/5. Again, that represents the shaded portion. Now let's go and let's look at more than one bar situation. Let's say I have 2 bars and each one is divided into 5 pieces and each one represent 1 whole. So if I have a situation, I have 1 whole, another whole, and I'm taking the first bar as its entirety, and I'm only taking 2 of the second one. Then you have to say 1, and you divided the second one into 5 pieces, and you took 2 of it. So this is actually a mixed number. You have 1 whole piece, and then 2/5, a fraction piece. And you read it as, let's write that down, 1 and 2/5. You may have more than 1 whole. Let's go and have another situation. Let's say I have another situation where I have 1 whole shaded, second whole shaded, third whole shaded, and then I'm shading 4 out of 5. So how are you going to write that? I have 3 whole pieces and I have the last one divided into 5 pieces, but I'm only shading 4 out of it. The way you read it is 3 and 4/5. So let's go back. The first set was a fraction where every piece is divided into something. You don't have one whole piece. And the second one was a mixed number. It has a whole part and it has a fraction part. So this representation is the fraction representation, and the other one is the mixed number representation. And how does that look? You have, let's say, one whole piece and then a fraction piece, 1 and 2/3. Now, one thing you need to watch out for, I don't have to represent the whole piece as a bar. I can represent it as, for example, a circle. I can divide it, as long as my pieces are equal size, I can divide it into equal sizes and shade some of it. Let's say I did that. What is the shaded portion? What is the fraction notation? I took my whole, divided it into 4 pieces, and I took 1 out of it, 1/4. Or I may have another piece represented like this. And let's say I did this. I had one whole piece. I divided it into 2 pieces, so I don't have to divide it vertically. And I took 1 out of it, 1/2. Another one might be like this. I have a triangle. 2 pieces are equal. I have 1/2 again. Now let's talk about different types of fractions. We have 2 types of fractions. The first one is called proper. The second one is called improper. The proper fraction will have a fraction bar, a numerator, and a denominator. And the numerator will always be smaller than the denominator. In other words, if you have one whole represented as a rectangle divided into 3 pieces, you will always stay within that one piece, and it's going to be less than that one piece, 1/3 of a piece, in fact. When you have an improper fraction, this time your numerator is going to be greater than your denominator, and you're going to take your one piece and divide it into these many pieces, and you take 4 out of it. Let's count. Here's 1, here's 2, here is 3. Now I need to go to the 4th one. So what you need to do is get to the second whole and divide it into 3, and you took the 4th piece out of there, 4/3. Now if you see it right now, the improper fraction can also be represented as a mixed number, because you have one whole piece and 1/3 of a piece. So 4/3 is the same as 1 and 1/3. One is the fraction notation, the other one is mixed number notation. Can you do the mixed number notation for proper fractions? No, you cannot. Now let's look at what happens when you have the numerator and denominator the same. And think about it. 3/3. You have a fraction where you divide into 3 pieces and you shade all of them. That looks like one whole piece. So when they're equal, you can represent it as 1. And you don't write it traditionally as 3/3. When you see 3/3 or 4/4 or 5/5, you just write 1. It is also important to find out when I have improper fractions and I want to represent them as mixed numbers. How do I do that? Then the first example was I took 4/3 and I found that it is the same as 1 and 1/3. Let's go find out another example. Let's say I have 5/4. How do I represent that? Now, the previous one, I did do it with the representation, geometric representation. I'll do the same thing with 5/4. You're dividing your bar into 4 pieces. And you take 5 out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what do you actually have? You have one full piece and 1/4 of a piece. So 5/4 is the same as 1 and 1/4. If I do this enough times, I'll start seeing a pattern. But the problem is, if I have some like this, 3,215 99ths. Now let's go to the example of 3,215 99ths. Now I'm going to use the same method and divide the long division. 3,215 divided by 99. How many 99s I have in 32? None. 300. I will have 3 of them. You go to the side and you multiply 99 by 3. 3 times 9, 27, 29. You have 297. Take it away. 11 minus 7 is 4. 1 minus 9 is 2. And you have 0. Bring the next one down. How many 99s? You're going to have 2. Go to the side. Multiply by 2. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 9 is 18. One more, and what? 19. 198. Take it away. 5, 8 can't go. 15, 8, 7. 3, 9 can't go. 13, 9, 4. This is actually 32 remainder 47. So what did I do? I took the quotient, which is 32. I'm going to have the remainder on top, 47, and the divisor at the bottom. So 3,215 99s is the same as 32 and 47 99s. Now, to go from improper to mixed number, then, what you need to do is you need to divide and write the quotient, then the remainder, then in the denominator the divisor. All right, now let's go back from mixed number to fraction, improper fraction actually. So remember, we did a couple of them. Let's say we did 1 and 1/3. Let's do that one. I have 1 and 1/3. And I know that this is 4/3. So here's my mixed number. And here's my fraction, improper fraction. How do I get to fourths? 1 and 1/3 actually is 1 plus 1/3. We are going to go in detail about how to divide fractions, but how to add fractions, but I'll just show you a little bit how you do that here. 1 and 1/3 means 1 plus 1/3. 1 is the same as 3/3. And now you add 1/3 to it, you're going to get 4/3. So what you do is, with the mixed number, you add them. You can do it the long way, or what you can do, look at these numbers and see how they're obtained. This 4 is actually 1 times 3 plus 1. And this 3 was your denominator before. So this 3 is this 3. And 4 is 3 times 1 plus 1. So you multiply this part and you add that part. So let's go back to this example. Remember, I had converted 3,215 99s into a mixed number. So here's my mixed number, 32 47 99s. So if I want to go from the mixed number into improper fraction, what do I need to do? I will just go and multiply 32 and 99, these two numbers, and I will add the top, 47, and I will leave the denominator alone. And this actually will give you 3,215 99s. So the procedure to go from mixed to improper, multiply the whole part with the divisor or denominator, let's call it denominator, and add the numerator to it, and that's going to give you the top. And then you're going to leave the divisor or the denominator alone.